I don't remember one explosion in this movie. I need my explosions. Give me my explosions. That's better.
In the days of darkness, when there is no hope for light, the only thing you can do is try and survive.
Escape from New York. John Carpenter's 1981 post-apocalyptic classic that spawned a bunch of ripoffs. A bunch. The plot. The president, played by Donald Pleasant, has crash-landed in the center of a city that once had potential but is now a walled-off prison. Hawk, played by Lee Van Cleef, has no choice but to send in someone to retrieve the president whilst undercover. Originally, Snake Plissken, played by Kurt Russell, was supposed to go to jail and/or be executed, but now he has 24 hours to save the president and escape from New York. It is a simple rescue story, but its execution is what sold people on the film. The lighting really helped elevate the scenery. It's dark but visible enough to make out what you're supposed to be seeing. They used a new camera at the time that had an ultra-light lens. Lighting was also crucial for Kurt Russell because he had to wear an eye patch, and even though he had a see-through one, doing the scenes would have had to have been hard, even with said eyewear. Hopefully with the right lighting, he could see where he was going. Speaking of things that couldn't be seen, I stand by that statement in my intro. Either there was an explosion and I just don't remember, maybe a car exploded or something. However, they do have clever ways to get around explosions to cut costs. The scene where the plane crashes is entirely off camera, and yet you know it's crashed because of a linear readout on the monitors. Even with a $6 to $7 million budget, which at the time was the largest budget Carpenter ever worked with, there was still things that needed to be scaled back. Most of the filming was done in California and Missouri instead of the titled area. It's a clever way to get your shots in without spending all your money on permits. The film has a very calm feeling to it. Nothing is downright brash, but it doesn't need to be. This film is partially about the way people have de-evolved and are now savagely living in the streets of a bombed-out city. Besides the rescue story, it definitely has layered themes. The characters, motivations, and overall mission have some depth to them. Brain, played by Harry Dean Stanton from Alien, he was Brad, does great work. He's kind of a slime ball, but his motives are clear. He wants to leave and has been trying to for a long time. The entry of Pliskin yields some hope for him to leave. Maggie, played by Adrienne Barbeau from Swamp Thing and The Fog, only wants what's best for Brain, and doesn't want him to go too far into trouble. Reem, played by Tom Atkins, who's also in The Fog, I wish had more to do, but he's sadly just a right-hand man and an underdeveloped character. Hawk is a great character. He can be a real asshole, but he's doing what he thinks is right. The president actually has a shifting character near the end that I don't want to spoil. Isaac Hayes from South Park plays the main baddie, the Duke. He's great. He's always great, and may he rest in peace. No one can replace Kurt Russell as Snake Plissken. He's so bad, he's good. He's cheesy, yet oh so ripe. He makes terrible dialogue bearable. He is the Clint Eastwood of the 80s. The gore, the effects, minor blood, and some other stuff, but nothing really worth mentioning. This film isn't an effects-driven picture, but one thing that really helps the film work is the motion picture soundtrack. John Carpenter and Alan Halworth knock it out of the damn park with this one. The main theme and barricade segments are truly awesome. While it is cheesy and a bit far-fetched, I can't help but really enjoy this flick. The cast is superb no matter how small the role. The crew really went above and beyond. John Carpenter is the man, and I love this movie. Lover Lake of Escape from New York. 4 out of 5. Lion Brian Gatto, host of Horror Show Entertainment. Make sure to like my Facebook page in the description below and to leave comments and subscribe.